Afroman.
There it is.
What happened?
Basically, I hadn't really heard from Afroman in a while. I feel like, I knew him when I was growing up, because of his anthem to smoking weed and doing nothing because I got high, which is obviously,
classic.
We all know about that.
Absolutely.
But yes, right, exactly. Bumping that in middle school, not knowing what
on
any
the
of it
iPod
meant.
Nano. Yeah.
He released a couple of new songs and music videos at the end of last year about this sheriff's department raiding his property in Ohio, and he used real footage from the raid that he captured with his own security cameras. During the raid, not only did they like busted in, fucked up his gate, fucked up his front door, but he also had this like very delicious looking pound cake on his like counter of his kitchen, and you can see one of the deputies, I think, during the raid kind of like double taking at it, like looking a little hungry. So yeah, exactly right. Money's not the only thing getting confiscated. The cake might be under investigation too. You never know.
Will you help me repair my gate? Will you help me repair my door? Did you find what you was looking for?
Yeah.
Will you help me?
That's crazy.
So basically they had obtained like a search warrant for his house, and there was drug trafficking on there, which, even when I spoke with him, he was like, fair enough, like he's a public figure who is best known for his music about smoking weed, but there was also something about kidnapping on the warrant, and I think that is what he found most upsetting. We talked about that.
Let me ask you something, officer. Any kidnapping victims inside my seat pockets? Are there any kidnapping victims inside my suit pockets? You crooked cops need to stop it.
So this is how he responds musically. What did he tell you when he's talking to you about this?
The song and the other song, Lemon Pound Cake, they're both like funny because that's sort of his artistic style, his like orientation in music. But genuinely, he was very, very upset and very outraged at the situation because this is his property. They're damaging things. He told me that when he asked them, like, are you, like the title of the song, are you going to help me repair my gate? Are you going to help me repair my door? Someone from the sheriff's department was like, that's not what we do, and just like smirked at him or whatever, which is, really typical in these kinds of situations. Police will enter people's houses and kill pets, shoot people, kill people, it's like, famously. So he was rightfully, especially as a Black man, very afraid. He wasn't at home. No one was home during the raid, but, he was saying to me that if he had been home, he certainly, I think, would have been afraid for his life. And then to kind of go back to the, kidnapping aspect, when we spoke, he said that once that element was kind of publicized, in he lives in Ohio, he lives in the area, and like local gigs didn't want to work with him anymore. Like he lost money because people were thinking, these charges were never actually filed. They were just on the warrant. That's what I spoke with the Adams County Sheriff's Department, and that's what they sort of clarified to me. But even, with Afroman's name being associated with kidnapping, especially kind of in the climate now, people did not want to fuck with him. And so that sort of lost him out on gigs, on money, on publicity,
There's a phrase here, asset forfeiture. Legally speaking, how does that even function?
In this case, this is criminal asset forfeiture because, the reason they were going in was to like investigate criminal charges. So asset forfeiture is basically that law enforcement agencies, and this goes for sheriff's departments, this goes for police departments, this goes for federal agencies, they're allowed to seize and hold on to any money that they, allege was obtained in the course of criminal activity. So
Right.
In this case, I guess the $5,000 or whatever they grabbed from his house, it would have been, they're saying, oh, we're taking this because we think it's the money you made selling drugs, or I guess kidnapping, whatever. They seized around $5,000 from his house, a little bit more. And he alleges that $400 of that cash wasn't returned. So that was something that he'd been publicizing on his own like social media. He'd also spoken to TMZ about it. And the sheriff's department sort of responded to that by initiating an investigation. So at first, a neighboring sheriff's department was going to investigate the Adams County Sheriff's Department.
Okay.
And now I think the state authorities are involved in Ohio. I actually did end up talking to the sheriff of Adams County. And so when we spoke, he at first was very, I don't include all the comments in the story. At first, he was very, oh, it's an ongoing investigation. We can't comment on it. Like I said, he reiterated that Afroman was never charged with anything. But, also his sort of point at the end that I did include in the story was he was like, we keep getting death threats and it's making my deputies upset, which, I'm not surprised. Yeah. So, that's sort of the line. I mean, I don't know if Afroman did not indicate that they had apologized to him in any way. I would be pretty blown away if they did ever issue any kind of apology. So that was, the statements to me, at least, and I haven't seen any results of an investigation since. We're pretty focused on the toll it was taking on the department versus on, what actually happened during the raid itself, which was not surprising to me.
So then they stole $400 out of the so-called drug seizure money they found in my house, which was in my coat pocket from a concert I did with Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa. What a lineup. The fumes in the air at that concert. I love that. What a good lineup.
That is money that you would not remember having.
Yeah.
I'm I do believe you.
Yeah. All you need is Devin the dude and you're pretty set.
What was it like interviewing Afroman?
No, it was funny. I was texting some friends from middle school, oh, you're not going to believe. So that was fun. But he was, he was a sweet guy. It was good. I mean, it was clearly this is something he's, really passionate about. And it was, interesting to sort of talk about his perspective, especially given that shit like this happens all the time. It just really rarely happens to people who have any kind of platform to talk about it. When we spoke, I'm not sure if this made this into the final piece or anything. I think he did, we did talk a lot about, sort of police reform and getting rid of asset forfeiture as something that can happen. And I think there's a lot to, the desire to have good cops step up and stop, these bad cops from doing the things that they do. But at the same time, at least on a personal level and just, anecdotally in terms of research, stuff like that, there's a lot of reasons that doesn't happen, and when it does happen, when, cops try to do that, there are some very well publicized examples of what the consequences for sort of going against the badge and speaking out about misconduct, you can get killed. So I think, I totally understand the desire to sort of just believe that people become police officers because they want to help people. And I know some people do that, but there are, systemic barriers in place culturally and, just structurally that time and again prevent that from happening. So
is there any action on his door or gate getting fixed?
No, I mean, he's just going to have to pay for that. It seems like the sheriff's deputies were rude to him about it, but that's true. The cops don't have to do that. That isn't their job. yeah, maybe if they spent more time doing home repairs, they would spend less time murdering a record number of people, So
Facts.
just like crazy thought. I don't know.
Wow.
The Adams County Sheriff kicked down my door. Then I heard the glass break. They found no kidnapping victims, just some lemon pound cake. Mama's lemon
do a double take.
pound cake. Mama's lemon pound cake. It tastes so nice. It made the sheriff wanna put down his gun and cut him a slice.
He like looks at the camera, looks down at the cake, and then looks. Wait, what is this?
Who made the cake? What details do we have about the cake?
So funny.
I guess he's saying it's his mom. I did not ask whose cake was that. That's my bad. I was remiss in not investigating the origins of the cake. That's on me.
Wow, you were getting details about what the sheriff, and you were getting all these real technical, important details, and somehow you didn't get what we wanted to know, which was the recipe for the cake.
Yeah.
I don't care what the sheriff's department was doing. I want to know how to make the cake. That's what I wanted to know.
Done.
Back to journalism school with you.
I know, yikes.
Is he expecting anything to come of this? Is he expecting an apology?
I think it really is like more a matter of, principle for him. Just kind of like, I assume like this footage like really blew up on TikTok and stuff like that. I assume it was reaching people who didn't know that not only does this happen, quite routinely, these kinds of raids, but that they're completely legal. And if they happen to you, there's kind of nothing you could do about it. Like it's less about, it's $400. Like I would love $400. I would be upset if I had $400 and something happened to it. But it does.
And you gotta fix the door and a gate.
True.
Yeah,
so
that's so true.
That's some extra money there.
Also,
that's at least another $400. That's true.
True, and it's from a show with Wiz Khalifa and Snoop Dogg. Like,
the
sentiment alone.
Special $400.
I do think it's a bit more about sort of like raising awareness, and that's and it seems like that's already happened. We're talking about it right now, which is great.
True that.
Yeah.
If you want to hear more stories behind our award-winning reporting, head over to twitch.tv/Vice and smash that follow button, bud? We'll see you in chat.